What I do want to talk about is what's coming next for Ruben Amorim, because the first question I would pose to you is, if I said to you now, you're the CEO or you're Ruben Amorim, are there any players that you definitely want to take with you on this journey? And I think this is one of the biggest problems that, I think communities like this, and probably this community, are the best because I'm biased, but I don't really see these sort of conversations very regularly, and we probably do it 4 or 5 times a show, 4 or 5 big, intelligent topics. This one, to start off with, is a dilemma for Amorim, because when I look at this team, I think there are only 4, maybe 5 players that at this moment, in his first 6 weeks, you would say you are taking with you on the journey. And I think that's abysmal. I think that's embarrassing. I think if I was a Man United player, I would be personally embarrassed if I wasn't so rich I don't give a shit. Because that can be the only explanation. It's if you're a Brentford player or a Brighton player or a Spurs, maybe not Spurs, or a Liverpool player, you'd be laughing at Man United players, and Man United players would know it. But they clearly take no care or personal pride in their profession because they're embarrassing. Everybody can see it. You can see it, I can see it, any other professional footballer can see it, that these players struggle under any other style of football other than sit back, counter-attack, shoot moments, Hollywood passes. They can't do anything else. They're moments players. They can't play in a modern system. They are not modern players. Every time we bring a manager in that has a style of play, whether it's Rangnick, whether it's Ten Hag, and whether it's Amorim, and all 3 of those players, all three of those managers, coaches, had a distinctive style of play. Rangnick abandoned it after half an hour. Ten Hag never achieved it in 2.5 years, and Amorim's not got anywhere near it after 7 weeks. So it reflects badly on these players that they have such low IQ, they can't adapt to the modern game of pressing, possession, not being selfish. They really, really struggle with it. So I look at the current United side at the moment, and one of the biggest problems Amorim's got is that in the first 6-7 weeks, you would expect a few players to kid you. I'd expect to be conned. Like, I remember when I used to work in the police years ago, and I was in uniform. I only did it for a year, and then I went into being a detective. But when you used to work on a shift, you'd work shifts. So you'd start 7 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock in the afternoon, or 2 o'clock in the afternoon till 11 o'clock at night, or 10 o'clock at night till 7 o'clock in the morning. They were the 3 shifts. And you'd have a team of about 8 of you on it. And you'd have a sergeant. And the rotation of sergeants was quite every 6 months. You'd always get a new sergeant every 6 months. And the lazy people on the team, when you got a new sergeant, for the first 2 or 3 weeks, they'd walk in with the lube and bend over, making the tea, doing every single job. And after about a month, the laziness would come back, can't be arsed, this, that, and the other. So you would expect that from Man United players, that in the first few weeks of Amorim, they'd try and kid him. All the lazy players, all the injured players would be fit, all the lazy players would be playing like, their very, very best. They've not even managed to do that. Explain that one to me. But what are your thoughts on this? For me, so far, out of a squad of touching 30, there are only 4 or 5 players that you would definitively say, I'm going to take them with me on this journey, which is incredible. Absolutely incredible. And those players for me, by the way, would be Mazraoui, De Ligt, Agate, Ahmad. There is another one. Why can't I think who it is? Help me out in the chat. I've had a few beers. It's killing my brain cells. Mazraoui, De Ligt, Agate, and Ahmad would be the 4 I would definitely take. No, it's not. No, not Mainu, not Yoro. No, it's not. Not Rasmus. No, it's not. No, absolutely not. Because they haven't proved themselves under the manager yet. I'm not saying that they won't become that, but there is only 4 players, I think, in the first 7 weeks that have actually proven to Amorim that they're up for it. De Ligt's done well, Agate's done well, Ahmad's done well, and Mazraoui's done well. I can't think of another player. Obviously, I would take Mainu, I would take Yoro. Of course, I would take them because I think they've got potential. But on actual, we've performed, Mainu's not played well. Yoro's not really had much of a chance, to be fair. I think that's appalling that there are only 4 players that I would take. Now, look, Martinez, no, not for me. Maguire maybe. I would concede that. Maguire maybe. But the trouble with Maguire is he's on 190k a week and he's 32 in a couple of months and he's injury prone. So that you know, obviously hinders that. But, and also I would say about Ahmad, only on the right side. I don't think he's done particularly well as a 10. I'd rather he played on the right-hand side. But 4 players out of a squad of 25 is a huge dilemma for Amorim in your first few weeks. You'd want that to be at least 12, and it's 4. That's pitiful. And we can all argue about other players, but I don't think, other than De Ligt, Mazraoui, Agate and Ahmad, I don't think any other player deserves to be in the category of those 4 of players that have shown Amorim that they're capable. I don't think anyone else has. Doesn't mean they're not trying. I just don't think they've shown the technical IQ that's needed to play in an Amorim system. That's terrifying. And that is a big, big dilemma. And I don't know how he solves that, because this is my concern going into the second dilemma of playing Newcastle on Monday, Liverpool a week on Sunday, and Arsenal in the Cup the week after that. I think those 3 games terrify me if we've only got 4 players that we can trust. And if these players aren't going to start stepping up, then we need to call them out. Like I say, Yarrow, Mainu, etc. are young players that you want to be part of the future, but they have to step up. He's shown immense faith in people like Dalot and Bruno, and they've let him down. Don't get me started on certain other players that have been an absolute disgrace. I would include Rashford, Casemiro in that. I think Casemiro is appalling. I know people don't agree with me on this, but he's on 350k a week. He's our best paid player, and he can't even get on the fucking pitch. What the fuck are you doing with yourself, mate? Like, are you just shit now, or is there a bigger issue going on? So yeah, it's a big, big dilemma as you go into these big 3 games to try and figure out what's coming next. Now, obviously, we've done the video on Nuno Mendes, and it's interesting that we're looking at left backs, but he can't solve every problem in a January transfer window, and he can't sell every problem in a January transfer window. So I think what's next is, and I want to bring this in because it's not the first time we've had this story, but I have a feeling, and I'm going to guess at this, I have a feeling that Xerxes might get moved on in January. I just think there's no smoke without fire. I don't like doing this because it's not fair, and that's why I'm saying it's not fair, but I can have an opinion. I think this is coming from him and his agent. I don't think this is even coming in from Man United. I don't think he's happy at Manchester United. I think this is, I wouldn't say it's a Di Maria, that's not fair, but it might be an Alexis Sanchez, where the deal he wanted to do was Man City, and Man United came in with the money, and they followed the money. And then they felt it was a mistake. And I think with Xerxes, the deal they were going to do was AC Milan. Man United came in with the money and they went for Man United. And I think they're regretting it. Goldbridge, that's the end of the clip. I'm sure you enjoyed it. In fact, I bet that's the best clip you've ever watched. So there's no reason not to subscribe to the channel. Click the bell icon so you never miss a clip again. In fact, smash a like on the video because we all know only legends like videos and you are all legends. So please smash a like on the video and we will see you again on the next one. Thank you very much for watching as always.